Okay, so I'm about to reveal the coveted playbook that master presenters guard with their lives. The invisible techniques they use to control every room, every audience, every outcome. Techniques that work whether you're presenting to Fortune 500 CEOs or a 3-person procurement committee. There's a hidden playbook, a secret choreography, an influence architecture that master presenters use to control the emotional temperature, the pacing, and the outcome of every interaction. So let me take you inside a conversation I had with a business owner who was about to lose it all. Mike owns a $2 million catering company. He has 20 employees. He's been building his business and his good reputation for 15 years. So a few months back, Mike called me in a panic. His business was in trouble. 3 major clients had cut their budgets, and 2 existing contracts didn't renew theirs. Mike was looking at layoffs, maybe even closing his doors. Then he heard about a competitive bid opportunity that could save everything. New corporate headquarters just opened up downtown, 500 employees, and they were looking for a new catering company. The contract would be worth at least $800,000 annually, a lifesaver to his 20 employees and his 15-year legacy in the making. But here's the problem. Mike wasn't just competing against local companies. The big national corporate behemoths had gotten wind of this new potential contract. Corporate Eats, Aramark, big players with unlimited resources. He was one of 3 finalists. It was winner takes all, and the loser goes home empty-handed. It was a fact. Mike's company had the best food, the best service, and the best relationships, but he was competing against national chains with bigger budgets and slicker presentations. Darren, he said, I know my food is better than theirs, but they have these polished presentations, professional marketing materials, and corporate resources. How do I compete with that? Here's what I told Mike. You don't compete with their resources. You outmaneuver them with your presentation. I told Mike, I will teach you the same invisible persuasion moves that I've taught, used, and seen work in billion-dollar boardrooms and on stadium stages. Mike was skeptical. He said, but this is just a catering presentation, not some high-stakes investor pitch. He said, Mike, I said, influence is influence. The techniques that work on VCs and Fortune 500 CEOs work on facility managers as well. The psychology that moves auditoriums of 25, 35,000 people moves individual decision makers the same. It's all the same invisible persuasion playbook. So I walked Mike through the playbook. 2 weeks later, Mike called me back. Darren, you're not going to believe what just happened. Here's Mike's story, okay? Presentation day. In the conference room sat the facilities manager, the HR director, and the COO, all those who would be making this big decision. There were 2 presentations before Mike. National chain number 1, professional slides, corporate branding, volume discounts, standard approach. National chain number 2, slick video presentation, celebrity chef endorsements, technology integration, impressive credentials. Then Mike's turn. But Mike had learned the playbook. First move, Mike had arrived 45 minutes early, not to just set up his slides, but to have individual conversations with each decision maker. Before the formal presentation, Mike had learned the facility manager's biggest frustration was the quality and the logistics of their previous lunch vendor. The HR director's main concern was about employee satisfaction. The COO's priority focus was efficiency and productivity metrics. When the presentation started, Mike already knew exactly what each person cared about most. That is invisible playbook number 1, reconnaissance, intel gathering. His second move, Mike didn't start with slides, he started with a headbutt. He said, I need to tell you what your employees are saying behind your backs. Something that's costing you $150,000 a year and destroying morale every single day. Dead silence. Total attention. And he went on. Last week I interviewed 3 of your recent departing employees. All 3 mentioned the same thing in their exit interviews. They said the way your previous catering was made them feel like you didn't value them, like they were just an afterthought, bodies in chairs, line items on a spreadsheet. The CEO shifted uncomfortably. But here's what's worse. Your current employees are saying the same thing right now to each other every day at noon. Mike reached into a brown bag and pulled out a sad-looking sandwich. White bread, processed turkey, wilted lettuce, single slice of cheese. This is what your people have been eating. This is what's being signaled to them that they are worth. He unwrapped it, placed it on the table. Everybody stared at the pathetic lunch. But here's what the same exact ingredients can become. Mike reached into a crisp catering container and revealed a stunning transformation. Artisan bread, same turkey, but hand-carved and expertly seasoned. Fresh greens, gourmet cheese, carefully arranged, fine dining quality presentation. He confirmed, same ingredients, same cost, very different message. One says, you're just a number and an afterthought. The other says, you matter to us. This place is about excellence. The contrast was undeniable, visual, visceral, impossible to ignore. That's Invisible Playbook move number 2, the uncomfortable truth bomb. Third move, Mike pulled out a large glass jar, put it on the table. He says, I want to show you what your lunch program is actually costing you. He opened the jar and started pulling out $100 bills, one by one, slowly and dramatically. Every month your turnover costs you this much. He kept pulling out bill after bill until there was a pile of cash on the table, $12,500. Every single month, gone. And according to your own exit interviews, bad lunch is mentioned 70% of the time. Then Mike did something shocking. He took out a lighter and held it over the money. This is what happens to this cash every month you don't fix this problem. The flame flickered just inches from the bills. Dead silence, complete attention. The question is, do you want to keep earning money or invest it in keeping your best people? He put the lighter away, the cash remained, but the point was seared into their minds. Invisible Playbook move number 3, visceral demonstration. Fourth move, Mike made it personal. When your daughter graduates college and is choosing between job offers, what is she going to think when she visits your office and sees how you treat your people at the most basic level? The HR director winced visibly, because that's exactly how top talent evaluates you. Not by your mission statement, not by your matching 401k, but by how you show respect in the small moments. Mike paused and let that sink in. And that's where Mike's catering is fundamentally different. We don't just deliver food, we deliver moments that make people feel valued. The handwritten note on every lunch order, thanking them by name. The fresh flowers on every catering table, because beautiful spaces make people feel important. The way we remember Rebecca in accounting doesn't eat gluten, and how we always have her special meal ready before she has to ask for it, so she feels cared for and not like an afterthought. The way we stay 5 minutes after every lunch service just to make sure everything is perfect. These aren't big gestures, they're small ones, but small gestures repeated daily create culture. A culture where your best people will never want to leave. Invisible Playbook move number 4, inspire significance. And here's the fifth move. Mike never asked for anything. Instead, he challenged them. So here's my question, and I need you to be brutally honest. Do you want to run the kind of company that attracts greatness, or the kind that settles for mediocrity? Because your lunch offering is already answering that question every single day. Long pause. Then the COO spoke. What would it take to change this immediately? Mike smiled. I love that you're asking. And then they started planning implementation before Mike even mentioned the price. And that is Invisible Playbook move number 5, the challenge close. The results? Mike didn't just win the contract. He got a 3-year deal at 15% higher than his original bid. Plus, immediate referrals to 2 other companies because they were so impressed with his presentation. Same food, same service, same Mike. A different playbook, different outcome. Because here's what I taught Mike and what I am teaching you here now. The techniques that move people in boardrooms, those that work in conference rooms, the psychology that influences investors. It influences procurement committees. The playbook that commands stadium audiences commands any audience. Here's what most people don't realize. The content is only 20% of the influence. The other 80% is the invisible playbook that surrounds it. How you gather intelligence before you even start. How you deliver uncomfortable truths that demand attention. How you make abstract cost viscerally real. How you make it personal to their legacy. How you challenge them to be better. Master presenters know this. They engineer every element of the experience. Nothing is left to chance. Every question, every revelation, every demonstration, every challenge is designed to move people towards a specific emotional state. And that state determines the decision. And here's the good news. These moves can be learned. That playbook can be mastered. Those invisible strategies can become your visible advantage. So grab your Darren Daily Journal here and think how you can use these 5 invisible moves in an upcoming presentation. 1, intel gathering. 2, truth bomb. 3, visceral demonstration. 4, inspire significance. And 5, challenge close. And share your thoughts in the comments below. And this is the final call for the first strike enrollment into riveting. Your window closes at 5 p.m. Pacific today. Mike's playbook that destroyed corporate giants? That's just one weapon in your complete arsenal. Every psychological framework, every influence secret, every persuasion tool that I've used to generate hundreds of millions in revenue through presentation is now encoded into that AI that will write every speech, every talk, every toast, every presentation for you. So enroll today and you gain an automatic entry into that strategy day with me at the Montage in Palmetto Bluff. So now's the time. No regrets. Strike while the iron is hot.